Hi there, Gopal. Andrew here. My apologies for being so late with this correction, but it's been quite a frantic week. Let's get straight to it, because I know that you have your exam coming up soon. Also, I'm more than happy to do your speaking test at some point this weekend, but it would be really good if you could book it on the Saturday, so tomorrow. I'll be quite busy Saturday evening and most of Sunday as well. So if you would like to have it, if you would like to have it on Sunday, because you're in China, it would have to be Sunday morning, which won't work. I won't be in the house at all Sunday morning. So we can either do it Saturday daytime or Monday. Monday morning for me, I mean. But anyway, let's get to it. So, with the modern development in communication and transportation technologies in recent decades, so we've repeated ourselves there a little bit, modern development, recent decades. They both refer to the same thing. So we could just remove this and say, with the development in communication and transportation technologies in recent decades, the numbers of local and international tourists are increasing globally. Exponentially has a very specific mathematical meaning, and we don't have access to the data to tell us if it is exponentially increasing. This essay will present some of the benefits and drawbacks of this global phenomenon using examples, plural, from Nepal and Switzerland. On the one hand, growing tourism has a plethora of positive effects on the global economy. I would say on global economy and culture. Widespread cultural evolution, it's a bit much. So, and I would use plural as well. So I would say positive effects on global economies and cultures. This is due to massive investment by public and private sectors in the tourism industry, as well as the money spent by travellers during their trips. For example, Switzerland has spent around 20 billion euros on tourism infrastructure in 2016 and collected 75 billion euro revenue. Let's stay consistent with our referencing of numbers. You've used hyphens here, but not here. Furthermore, the global expansion of tourism has created a platform for cultural exchange between different societies, which ultimately contributes to social development. Therefore, tourism is considered as the backbone of many national economies. And aids in the spread of culture around the world. That would just be my phrasing for that sentence. On the other hand, the expanding tourism industry also comes with numerous detrimental effects for both society and the environment. The massive rise in the numbers of visitors is wreaking havoc on waste disposal systems around the world. Let's actually say the massive rise in the numbers of visitors is wreaking havoc for the waste disposal systems of the world's major tourist destinations. For instance, a recent expedition organized by the Nepalese government recovered 3.5 tons of non-biodegradable waste from Mount Everest. Additionally, the influx of people from various cultures could occasionally result in social disputes and unrest amongst the locals. Hence, in many cases, increasing tourist population, I would use the plural here, increasing tourist populations is a primary reason behind increasing pollution and some social unrest. Let's not say it's the main reason behind social unrest, because it's just not. People have bigger problems than tourists. People like to complain about tourists. Everybody hates a tourist, but everybody also accepts that the money they bring is absolutely necessary. I would say it's more that social unrest is caused by famine or oppression, that sort of thing. In conclusion, whereas growing tourism seems beneficial from an economic perspective, there are certainly plenty of trade-offs. I would use a different phrase there. I would say beneficial from an economic perspective, there are a myriad of negative consequences for the natural environment as well as society. More stringent rules and regulations should be imposed on travellers to subsidise growing pollution and social issues in the future. It's fine to make a recommendation with the word should right at the end, because you've already presented all of the evidence and you've said, because of all this, we should do this. The only time it's not okay, or the majority of the time really, it's not okay to make recommendations throughout the essay. We use could throughout the essay to refer to possible consequences of things, or things that could happen in the future. But if we want to make a recommendation, we do so right at the very end, and then we can use should. But overall, great. Pay particular attention to the ands, thes, and plurals. You have a very good style of writing. Very, very good style of writing. But you could be let down by missing prepositions and pronouns and articles. So listen very closely for those. So here is the task in which you are sending a letter to your friend to update them about your life. So it needs to be really personal, quite warm. It can be informal. It doesn't have to use lots of posh language. So, dear Tim, how are you? I hope you've been well. Great. Contractions, very informal. It's been a while since we contacted one another. I would always, when referring to two people, I would say one another. When referring to a group of people, it's okay to say each other. Humans should love and respect each other. Married couples should love and respect one another. If you're referring to two people in the interaction, one another, and if you're referring to a group of people, each other is fine. So it's been a while since we contacted each other. I'm writing this letter to let you know that I've recently changed my job and moved to a new company in the city. I would say, and moved downtown to a new company in the city. That would sound better. As I told you last time, my old company weren't paying me a proper salary, and I had to work overtime without any extra payment. Still, actually no, I'm going to allow this. You can only use these conjunctions at the starts of sentences in really informal writing. So a letter to a friend, it's kind of okay, but still, I would personally stay away from it. But I will allow it in this case. So, I was feeling really upset and having a hard time maintaining a proper work-life balance. Last month though, because you've said this thing, I was feeling really upset and having a hard time maintaining a proper work-life balance. Last month though, I resigned from that job and got on board with an international software company. Fortunately, my new employer, pays a lot of attention to their employees' personal and professional growth, and in that sense, I'm feeling very lucky right now. Now that I'm working as a senior software engineer, Now that I'm working as a senior software engineer, I have a plethora of opportunities to climb up the job ladder. Additionally, the company provides on-the-job training, no plural, which is undoubtedly helpful for my long-term career development. At last, the biggest news, or here we could say last but not least. It's a friendly, informal phrase. Last but not least, the biggest news is that I'm planning to move to your neighbourhood next week. Oh my god. Hopefully, we can hang out much more often after I move closer to you. Keep in touch and see you very soon. Best wishes, Paul. Nice one. All in all, a great job. I've always been impressed by your writing, but we really need to get down on those prepositions, articles and pronouns and make sure we include them wherever they are necessary. But I look forward to your next bits. Speak to you soon, Gopal.